Hey, single queen, welcome to the Queendom. This is your girl, Coach Cheryl, and I am so excited that you are here today. In today's video, we're going to be talking to a wonderful couple about making love last, how to make love last. So, we're going to talk about their incredible journey of love of 30 plus years, how they have made marriage last, because I think it's important for Christian singles to hear this kind of information. So let's jump into today's segment. Hey everybody, it's your girl, Coach Cheryl, and you see this wonderful couple that I have with me. I am so excited. Y'all see them waving at you? Wave at the people. And y'all, I want to hear you all in the comments. Welcome them to the show. Let them know and feel your love. They are getting ready to impart some great wisdom to you. We are talking about making love last. And I talked about in the intro, is forever love real? Can it be something that you attain, especially in a day and age where you see people going from one relationship to the next relationship, and we don't see a lot of couples, even in the Christian world, staying together. And I wanted to show some positive examples of love that is working, love that is lasting. And so I thought to myself, who better to bring on than my very own sister and brother to show y'all that love does work. Love can last. They have 34 years of marriage, two beautiful daughters, two beautiful grandsons that are now here that we get to lavish love on, and we are so excited. So y'all, again, hit that like button. Also, show them some love in the comments for being here, just to be open to share their love story with us on today. So I've got so many questions that are on my heart. I know questions that people, especially singles like me, we always want to know. And so the first question I want to know is, how did you all meet? How did this great coupling come together?
Well, we both belong to the same church organization. So we would see each other at, national conventions, choir extravaganzas, and things like that. Of course, I noticed him first. I knew who he was.
I see you.
So, but basically, yeah, it was at a church event.
Okay, at a church event. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next question is, who made the first move?
Me. Yes, yeah. So after we did meet, and we met a couple of times just by name, something quick. But when we really got together, I had planned a trip to go to Gainesville because I did meet her, and I liked what I saw, what I heard, which was not much, but I did like what I did here. So I had an opportunity to go to Gainesville, and the weekend we chose to go, a cousin of mine and myself went to Gainesville with every intention going to see Sandy and to find out a little bit more about her. We got to Gainesville and made a phone call because I hadn't heard from her. I said, well, she's supposed to call and let us know if we can get together. Our plan was to get together that evening, and I hadn't heard anything, so I got a little nervous about it. And she finally called. She called me back. I had called and she wasn't home, and she called back, and we finally talked. But the conversation went so quick. He's like, "Oh, you're in town? Oh, that's great. So maybe we can get together sometime this weekend." I was like, specifically, see you this weekend. I would hope so. She was at a friend of hers' house, and when she hung up, her friend told her, "No, you need to call him back and let him."
Thank God for my friend who has some sense.
And so we finally had a conversation about where we would meet up. We met up at Jerry's restaurant there in Gainesville with a group of us. There was a group of, they had an opportunity to go meet at the mall. I think we met either at the mall. We met at Jerry's.
We met at Jerry's.
Met at Jerry's, and when we were being seated, her friend was like, because I was going to sit somewhere else. I wanted to sit by her, but I didn't want to be too forward about it. So her friend said, no, Joel, you come sit over here. Come over here and sit by Sandy.
Again, thank you for my friend.
Looking out for her. And I sat by her there, and we had a nice conversation. and that was a very, very nice weekend. That Saturday night was nice, but even Sunday, we
Mm-hmm.
went out to dinner after church on Sunday.
That was our first official date, I guess.
Yes,
Sunday
It was
yes,
after
that
church.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah,
and
just the two of us.
we were into photography, so we took pictures like you wouldn't believe in the mall. We had a nice dinner at Red Lobster,
Mm-hmm.
and it just was a very nice time of getting to know one another. So after I got to know her that weekend, I knew right then that something more was going to become of our relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
I would eventually marry her. But I wouldn't tell her that because it might have scared her off. But
Well, and
I knew right.
I love that, especially there are two things that I pulled from that. Number one is the importance of friends.
Yes,
Had that maybe not been for your friend,
Yeah.
making that like, no, Sandy, you need to fix that. You need to let him know,
right.
number one, that you're interested in seeing him, so his trip
Yes,
wouldn't be in vain. And
that's
Right.
right.
then, and even at the restaurant, like, no, Joel, you come sit over here. You didn't come all the way
Yeah.
down here to sit at the end of the table. Y'all
Right.
make this connection. So the importance of friends kind of facilitating, the process of y'all coming together. And then how quickly you knew that there was something about her that made you want to know more. So what was that like? That something, what was it about her that let you know that quickly that there was just something there?
Well, I had already told the Lord that I wouldn't be another relationship, which it had been a while, but I wouldn't be in another relationship until
Mm-hmm.
I found my wife. I did not want a relationship without seeking a
Right.
wife. Just a girlfriend to date.
Mm-hmm.
I someone I could spend my life with and build a family with.
Okay.
So the spirit man on the inside of me was touched once we got together, we talked, we had great conversations, had so much in common, large families. We
Mm-hmm.
were both singing in the choir. She was a musician, I sung in the choir. We had that in common. We were both love to take pictures and photography.
Oh, my
Mm-hmm.
Had so many things in common right away, and
Right.
we didn't know that until we met that weekend. And then once we found out we had so much in common, it made it easy for both of us to really say, wow, I can really identify with this person. And I was very well pleased with Sandy,
Mm-hmm.
the way she communicated to me. And she was not was, but is beautiful
Mm-hmm.
um, to me. And I certainly, I was attracted right away, I should say that. And
Mm-hmm.
hope was also as well. But so many things in common that we had, and we just took our time and enjoyed our day and got to know one another.
Mm-hmm.
No pressure at all on either one of us,
Right.
but we just took our time to get to know one another better. And here, 34 years later.
And see, let me back up just a little bit with that phone call.
Uh-huh.
See, I was very inexperienced and I was really shy.
Right.
So the phone call did cut off pretty quickly because I was like, "Huh?" So that's when my friends say, no, call him back,
Mm-hmm.
and let's go out and for dinner, everybody just go out. And
Okay.
then the restaurant, I wasn't gonna force, sitting next to him. So she
Right.
was like, no, Joe, you come over here and sit over here. So, I just was trying to be not too awkward since I didn't have a lot of experience. So
She was very shy. She was
yeah,
very, very shy. I must say
right.
that.
But when we did go out to Red Lobster for dinner, I mean, he was so easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
It it's just I can't explain. It was just like it just flowed
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
very, very engaging and just easy to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
And just we had a wonderful talk. We had a
Wonderful
wonderful
time.
time.
Awesome, awesome. So kudos to all those friends out there that hook up your friends when y'all see them faltering and floundering and about to miss their moments.
Help us, help
Help us out. Help us out. Don't let
That's
us miss
right.
our moment.
That's right.
Right,
I,
right,
I
right.
love that. I love that. Because I think a lot of times, especially I know from talking to a lot of women in ministry and women in the church, is that you try to balance your interest with someone without trying to be overly aggressive or to seem aggressive, especially for women. So a lot of times we don't know how to balance that. Like, how do I let this guy know that I'm interested without, going overboard? And y'all know when we were growing up, it was being fast. You don't want to
All
be
right.
fast. Like, I
Exactly.
want you to know I'm interested, but I'm trying to do it in a way where it doesn't cross the line of being appropriate. And so I think
Right.
that's where your good friend came in and helped you kind of, smooth that area out so that you could make this, this lifelong powerful connection with the man that God had purpose for you to live your life with and to raise a family with. So I think that's really, really powerful. So
Yes.
friends in the comments, y'all look out for us. We be struggling sometimes. So help us out. Help us out.
Right.
So my next question is, how long did you all date before you got married, or Joel, before you proposed?
Um, it was about 2.5 years
Okay.
from the time we officially
Mm-hmm.
met.
Okay.
Oh, well, I would say maybe from that first date,
Okay.
about 2 years and a little bit maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Then he proposed in April of
1986.
1986,
Long
and
time
then
ago.
we married in November of '96. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
2 years. They're about 2 to 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a good time, because even like as I'm looking over the landscape of people that date and get married now, some people will say that's a long time to be dating, because right now they're like, if you're not married in a year, he don't want you.
And see, let me take that a little further because we dated long
Long
distance.
distance. Yeah.
Oh,
She
okay.
Gainesville, and he was from Winter Haven.
Okay.
And we would
Okay.
just see each other occasionally, a few times a year at the
Okay.
convention. But then, once we got to know each other, got serious, he would come up and I would come up. But in the beginning, we were writing letters.
Oh,
Not
wait a
right.
minute. Take me back to writing letters.
Yeah.
We
Writing
wrote each other
letters.
letters,
Still
and
have
we
them, by the
still
Oh,
way.
have
y'all still
those.
have the letters?
Yes, and over the years, we've gone back and reread those letters to each other.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
So no FaceTime, no
no,
texting, no social media.
none of
Just
that.
sitting down with a pen and paper
Mm-hmm.
and writing down your thoughts and your feelings.
Mhm.
I tell you, it's just such a blessing. And
Mm-hmm.
I think one way that we're able to express ourselves, which we did in writing, we expressed ourselves, but
Right.
we were able to do it in such a way where we weren't in each other's way. We weren't there all the time. So, case
Right.
in those who want to spend too much time
Mm-hmm.
hanging around too soon and not giving the relationship a chance to kind of, we're up and we're down, we're up and we're down. Because for me, it was tough to go see Sandy and come back home
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to spend more time, but I knew that I loved her so much that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to spend too much time because it hurt me too much to spend time with her.
Oh.
Hurt me in the sense of I wanted to be with her more.
Right.
Uh, but for our relationship, it was really ideal to
Mm-hmm.
be long distance. It really helped us to really really solidified what we already believe in ourselves to be
Mhm.
true
Right.
about relationship and eventually marrying one another. It really was a big help, I think, overall to both of us. So, yes,
And we
really,
talked on the phone too.
yes.
And
Okay.
that's back when
No cell
you
phones.
paid per minute for
Wow. To
distance.
talking. So you had to pay for those
Yeah,
conversations.
yes.
Yes.
And so we kind of had to watch it sometimes because mom and dad would be like, "Oh,
So
where y'all been calling?"
calls again. Still these calls in Winter Haven.
Uh-huh. Phone bills got kind of high. So
Yeah, I'm sure. I remember those days of the AT&T per minute. Or was it Southern Bell still then?
I think
When
it was something else
Southern
back then.
Bell?
Yes.
Yeah. But but what I love about that is you all got to know each other on a level that I think that sometimes couples don't get to know each other now in this electronic, technological age that we're living in. Yes, we
Yeah.
have more avenues to communicate or more avenues to talk, but I don't know if we are really connecting. And so I think that's why one of the reasons we see friendships falling, relationships falling, is because we communicate more, but I don't know if we connect more. And I
Mm,
think the foundation that you all had, especially I love the writing letters to one another, something that you have like record of that you can go
yes,
back to
Absolutely.
and rehearse to see how you were feeling at a particular moment or time, or how much you all missed each other when you were away. That's precious, and I think that's something that we really don't have in this uh Facebook, YouTube, IG era where people are dating that way. We don't spend a lot of times, I think, with foundational things that really matter in the long haul of a relationship. So I think that's beautiful that you all had that. And maybe we all need to find some ways to integrate that into our friendships and into relationships now.
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely.
I love that. So here's another question. What initially attracted you to your spouse?
Wow. Um, well, I can say after I had a chance to, I guess prior to getting to know Sandy, I first saw her. We were at a December convention in Ocala.
Mm-hmm.
The meetings were just very busy. They were very full. Finding a seat was a challenge. And
Yes.
the night when I first saw her, I stood against the wall by the window, right up under the balcony area,
Famous walls.
That's
famous
right.
fall, and I saw this young lady standing in front of me. I was like, 'cause she was like writing. She may have been a person, may have been a person between us at the beginning, but at some point that person walked out and she was right directly in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I couldn't help but see her. So I
Mm-hmm.
looked, I said, wow, that's a good young lady right there. I was paying attention to how she was kind of like, I mean, she was standing,
Mm-hmm.
standing strong, her back, straight and her head up,
Mm-hmm.
like a person may have a lot of good self-esteem. Her hair was well groomed. And when
Yes.
she turned, I saw her eyes. I was like, oh my God,
It's the eyes.
he is beautiful. And I had already seen her because her family, which I thought was one family, the Thomas sisters. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that's like a lot of sisters, it's like 8 of them. And I know that you all were cousins. I thought all of you all were sisters. And
Mm-hmm.
so I saw her up front because they did sing. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing you all sing and then seeing her sing as well, and had a better opportunity to see her up front, and she came back and stood by me. I was immediately physically
Mm-hmm.
attracted to her because she was just beautiful to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I said I would like to get to know her better, I had her confused with one of her cousins,
Mm-hmm.
because I did get a chance to meet her on that Sunday of the same meeting to
Mm-hmm.
be able to identify who she really was.
Okay.
But I already attracted to her before I met her. So
Okay.
that made it better when I did meet her on that following Sunday when I was introduced to her by my cousin. So it just was amazing. She was beautiful, still beautiful now. But her eyes was the most attractive thing about her for me at the time.
Were you batting those eyes, sis?
That you have it right.
Right. There you go.
What you say,
Well,
Sandy?
Use what you
yes,
got. Use what you got.
yes, yes. When I first saw him, I thought he was very handsome,
Mm-hmm.
very, very handsome, and I knew some of his family,
Mm-hmm.
so I had inquired
Right.
about him. But when I would see him around,
Mm-hmm.
he just carried himself confidently,
Mm-hmm.
but not in a conceited, full of himself way.
Right.
And for someone who I thought was so handsome,
Mm-hmm.
was really a nice thing to see. Wow.
Yes.
You're not walking around, strutting like, I'm the man.
I
Not
am God's
at
gift.
all. Not at all. And through some of those inquiries, his cousins would just speak very highly of him. And the
Mm-hmm.
one main theme when they were describing him was sincere,
Mm-hmm.
very
Okay.
sincere. Yes.
I love
And
it.
as I got to know him, I found that to be exactly true.
Mm-hmm.
Here, very sweet, very approachable,
Mm-hmm.
just very inviting and engaging,
Yes.
in really humble, respectful
Mm-hmm.
way. I guess I could put it that way.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely very, very handsome.
And keep in mind, I was looking for a wife, so the Bible says, "He who finds a wife."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thing. So I was looking for. I wasn't looking necessarily right at the moment, but I'd already told the Lord the next person that I had a relationship with, please, let that give me an indication that this is the right person for me for a lifelong mate. And He
Right.
made very clear, as we learned earlier in the conversation tonight, that she was definitely the one for me. So very, very attracted to Sandy. Still am today.
Mm-hmm.
I
All right. Look at them. We gonna be through in a minute, and y'all can go ahead.
No,
Y'all can carry on. And I love how you talk about your attraction to one another. That even though it was looks first, and I tell anybody else, it's always looks first. It is always your initial attraction. But even the kind of attributes that you all pulled from that physical attraction, the confidence and the esteem that you saw in that person, without arrogance, that you can be confident and that you can be
right,
self-assured and you can have self-esteem without being arrogant, without being cocky, but in the way that you hold yourself, in the way that you carry yourself. And even Sandy, your inquiries, like, who is this person? Tell me a little bit more about him. The witness you got from other people, that what you saw was really what that was, that it wasn't
yes,
him pretending to be something that he
right,
wasn't, but that was just who Joel
who he
was. He
was.
was a sincere person, a person that says what he means and means what he says, and just a total stand-up guy. So I love how, even though your initial attractions were physical, I like what he looks like, I like what she looks like, but that you even saw some underlying character qualities in that have helped, or that are necessary for relationships to move forward. What do you think are some qualities that singles need to be looking for, or to have their eyes and ears open as they are looking for a spouse, a mate for themselves?
Well, I think first and foremost, they need to be like-minded,
Mm-hmm.
um, born again.
Yes.
Okay, Christian. We're talking about Christians,
Yes.
born again follower of Christ,
Right.
uh, and being like-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you believe the same way. Um,
Yes.
have like minds about a lot of things. Um, and I did want to just reference one scripture here. I had it right here. I'm sorry. Hold on. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For
Yes.
fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness? So Christians, you would want to seek out someone who is equal in the fact that you're like-minded and you're born again, a born
Yeah.
again follower of Christ. That's, I think, one of the main things.
Yeah, that's important.
Absolutely. So, along with that, someone of good moral character. You don't want to have somebody that That's why it takes time to get to know someone.
Yes.
Being too quick to jump based upon what you see with your eyes, the physical attraction. It could be the way they dress. It could be what they have, how they present themselves. You can't just go by that. Get to know this person and make sure they have good moral character. Um, Also, paying attention to, is this a person who, if you're a person who likes to have fun, I was a person who likes to have fun. I think for singles, as they're looking for someone, they too need to, you got to have some fun. Being in a
Yes.
relationship, you gotta have fun. You gotta have a good time. So that's very important to me, or I think would be important for singles. And singles have to also be looking for another single person who has the desire to be married. Not
Yeah.
everyone desires to be married.
Right. Right.
You Some just are out there to hook up and just to have a
Hmm.
good time, to see how many, men or women they can score, so to speak. But if you're a born again believer and you're single and you're looking, you must make sure, in my opinion,
Right.
that you have someone who's not just desiring to just have a relationship and not desiring to be married. God's best for us. God honors marriage, and
Yes.
that's for us to be married. So I think we should make sure that we're focusing on that, and also committing themselves. Commitment's going to be very important.
Okay.
Committing yourself, taking the time to commit to someone, and spending the time to get to know them is going to be very important. So singles, as you're out there, committing too soon may not be the best thing. Over time, as you get to know someone, then making that commitment is going to be, I think, important, and not wait too long and drag things out.
Right.
Uh, Once you know what you want, you're an adult, you're marrying age,
Hmm.
you learn about one another. It's time to make that decision to commit. Um, and I think that's God's best for us to do that,
Yeah.
for singles to do that as well.
And I would tag on to that too. Um, is he or she exhibiting some fruits of the spirit?
Right. Yes.
Love, joy, all the fruits of the spirit.
Hmm.
Um, how does he interact with his family?
Hmm.
How
Yes.
does he interact with people in general?
Yes.
Hmm.
And as you go on down the line, how does he or she handle money?
Hmm. Yes.
Are they gainfully employed?
Yes.
Very
You
important.
know, just
Yes.
those may seem basic, but you know, throughout you getting to know one another, you want to be looking for some
Hmm.
of that fruit. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And even though you say that that is basic, I think sometimes it gets overlooked in the euphoria of being infatuated with somebody, that sometimes we don't look at those foundational things that are going to be really, really important in marriage. Like, really, how do they handle money? Are they good stewards over money? How do they see money? Um,
Right.
are Is this somebody that I'm going to be fighting with about money, because at the end of the day they're going to spend it all and we can't pay rent?
Mhm.
Right. Absolutely.
You
So
would think about
those are things that we may think are small things, or things that everybody knows, or everybody has a handle on. But as we see, I think the major things they see that cause divorces is money.
it. Mhm.
And so it is important to see how a person feels about money, how a person responds to lack of money or lots of money. How do they react in those kinds of environments? I think tells you a lot about who a person is and how they'll respond or react in other situations. How they treat people that
Mhm.
can't serve them. You know,
Absolutely.
you know, because I know for me, when I am um, dating guys, I watch how they treat. I want to see how you treat the waiter.
Mhm.
How do you
Important.
respond with kindness to them? I
Yeah.
want to see how you treat the doorman. I want to see how you treat just a person that can't do anything for you, or that you think can't do anything for you. I want to see how you treat them. Are you going to be respectful? Because that
Mhm.
tells me something about how you may treat me
Mhm.
down the line. So I think those things, that what we used to just call being raised well, just good
Mhm.
home
Absolutely.
training,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, are things I think that we,
One of the fruits.
yes, yes, the fruits of the spirit. Do you have that? That tells you more than, especially in a culture where it's now, it's real cool to say that you're a Christian. It's cool to say that you're a believer, but everybody that says that isn't one.
Right.
That's right.
And so we have to
Very.
keep that into account as well. And so I talked about, things that singles should be looking for. But I also want to talk to the married couples that may be 2 years in, 5 years in, and they want some tips and strategies about how do you make your marriage last 30 years and more? What are some of the qualities? What are some of the strategies? What are some of the things that you have to come together to make your marriage last like that?
Well, one of the things you have to do, I think, is you have to continue to do the things that brought you together in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, dating is very important even when you're married. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, when I say that, you're at home, you get kind of used to things being at home. You're there, you cook, you eat, you sleep, you repeat all of these things. But every now and then, you need to go on a date.
Yes.
And typically, every quarter for us, at least, we try to
Mm-hmm.
go somewhere to do something outside of the home.
Right.
Keep that date, make it make a reservation for a nice restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time with your spouse. Some like to even go dancing, learn how to dance with your spouse if you don't already know how to do that. To spend some
Yes.
quality time there doing something different than the norm
Mm-hmm.
uh, is great. But having a nice, planned, hot, sizzling date
Hot sizzling date. Yes.
it pays dividends. So get that spouse out of the house.
Oh, I like that. Get that spouse out of the house.
Uh-huh.
Stop
Yeah.
having your wife just have to cook all the time. Set some money aside if you need to
Mm-hmm.
really go out and have an enjoyable evening away from home. It can be a weekend away from home. Quality vacations, we've had those where we have to spend at least not less than 7 days away
Mm-hmm.
for it to be a vacation and go
Yes.
a great vacation, go out of state, go out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost you some money, but these things are very important to maintain and sustain a great, loving marriage. So I think that's just a thing or two that you can do. You got to keep the spice in the marriage. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's got to be spicy. It's got to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's got to be motivating you to do nice things for one another.
Okay.
Uh, and sometimes that means, something that Sandy may like to do or something she might like to eat or places she may like to go. I may not like it, but because my love for her is so great, I'm going to do those things that make her happy. So,
And
uh,
vice versa.
for sure, yes, yes.
Yes.
Things that make your spouse happy and that brings them pleasure are the
Mm-hmm.
things that we should do to keep a happy marriage. Just
Mm-hmm.
some of the things. What you got?
Well, we came up with an acronym, just
Okay.
um, and it is SPICE.
All right. Spice.
Got to keep that
Spicy.
spice. Got
Yeah.
to have plenty spice.
And this is us. There's plenty other words, to describe your relationship or what have you, but S is for sexy.
All right. Sexy. Saved it
Sizzle.
sexy.
Keep it
Sizzling.
sexy and sizzling.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Sexy, sizzling, and
sweet.
sweet. Very important for spicy.
Yes.
Okay. Sexy, sizzling, and sweet.
Yes.
That's the
Okay.
S.
That's the S. Okay.
P. Of course, you want to keep prayer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you always want to pray together and apart. You be praying for each other and you pray together.
Okay. I like that.
Playful. He was mentioning that before.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have fun. You want to be playful.
Pillow
Mm-hmm.
fights. And you got to have fun. Pulling each other's socks off, chasing them around the house, in the kitchen.
Playing footsies under the table.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, it kind of keeps that fire going.
Yes.
Do
Mm-hmm.
those things that you like to have fun, and we call that playtime. I saw my parents play. They had fights with us in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and they wrestled each other, just having fun. But that just brings out some of the spice in the relationship. So being playful is very, very good.
And passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So prayer, playful, passion.
Yes. Yes.
Lots of that.
I is intimacy.
Okay.
You want to expound on intimacy?
Just making sure that we're keeping close in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing those special times. There's times that Sandy had challenges at work.
Mm-hmm.
real serious issues with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they've treated her, things that went on. You got to have those intimate conversations, not just about, intimate in the sense that we're going to get together, but intimate of things you can't tell anybody else. My wife is my best friend. She
Mm-hmm.
knows more about me than anybody else will ever know,
Right.
because I let her in. We're very intimate, and she's very intimate with me. So we shared on a deep level things that
Mm-hmm.
we share with one another. So intimacy is going to be a part of the relationship that keeps it spicy, believe it or not.
Okay.
You make sure that your relationship, not only your spiritual relationship with the Lord Himself, is intimate, but you bring that over into your relationship with your spouse, and you make sure you share with them the things that they need to know, and always keep that communication open, so you can get to that person and you can get to their heart, and they will share with you, so you know them on that level. And keeping that in mind is very important. I think intimacy is going to be what makes your relationship with the next eye, which is interesting. You got
Okay.
to keep things interesting. Doing different things. Some people like to do a lot of hobbies, have a lot of hobbies, and do things together outside of the home. Some don't, but we like to do things. I mean, some things that we've done. What we've done.
Oh man. And sometimes, you kind of have to spur one another on to do things. Because
Yes.
some
Mm-hmm.
things might be a little bit scary or like, oh no. Uh, we've been whitewater rafting
Cool.
that in my life, but it was so fun.
Exhilarating
So
on
fun.
the
Oh,
Colorado.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Parasailing.
Mm-hmm.
We that we went zip lining in Hawaii. That was amazing.
Yes.
Just
Cool.
different wouldn't think that you would ever get involved in. It doesn't have to be daring stuff like that.
Cool.
But
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's
just
the fun stuff.
yeah, come up with
Yes.
ideas that of things that you can do to keep life interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get so bogged down sometimes with work,
Right.
children, church, until you may find yourself just stuck in this mundane, existence. But
Right.
to keep it interesting, just think outside the box,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and begin to do different things when you go on vacation. Sometimes you need a relaxing vacation where you don't do anything much, but
Right.
then you just want to, live life,
Yes.
Yeah.
live life.
Go deep sea fishing. We've done that. We've done
Mhm.
some underwater scuba diving
Oh
in
yeah, that
Hawaii.
was.
I mean, things that a regular person may be afraid to do. We were maybe a little bit fearful too of some things that we've done, but
Mm-hmm.
once we stepped out, because we
Mhm.
wanted to keep our relationship interesting,
Yeah.
Right.
we do things that are exciting, things that are exhilarating, things
Mhm.
that bring us pleasure, things that make us want to go out and try and do other things. So we try to incorporate a lot of things like kayaking. We went out a couple of miles on a kayak,
Mm-hmm.
and we were snorkeling 2 miles out in the
It
ocean in
was
Hawaii.
so
Beautiful.
Oh,
beautiful.
that sounds awesome.
So all of
Yes.
those kinds of things you must do as married couples to
Mm-hmm.
keep interesting, to stay married, and to enjoy being married, and
Right.
to experience the love that God intended for you to
Mhm.
have.
And friends can help you with that too. A friend at work, who has traveled extensively, and she's the one who actually encouraged me to
Mm-hmm.
encouraged us to put this trip together and
Mm-hmm.
just do different little excursions, different little things that you may not ordinarily see yourself doing. So
Right.
you encourage others as well to, hey, we've got this one life to live. Let's enjoy it. This is a
Yes.
whole world that God created. Let's go see some of it. Let's do some things, you know.
I
Okay,
love
and the
that.
next C, captivating.
Mm.
We
Captivating.
should have things about
Yeah,
captivating.
just find ways to captivate one another's, attention. Holding each other's attention is very important.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing things that they like, and I like doing things that my wife likes to do. And like I say, if you don't necessarily like what your spouse wants to do, they can't do everything that you want to do, and you
Right.
don't do anything with them or for them. But you
Right.
got to keep their attention. So the things that makes her happy, I want to make sure that I'm capitalizing on that and
Mhm.
that it is things that that makes our relationship and makes with each other that we're captivating each other and keeping them that way in a very charming manner. That's our
Mhm.
next C. So
Okay.
she was very. I'm sure I was very charming to
Very
you.
charming.
Very.
Very
She's
charming.
certainly very charming to me, and that keeps the spice in your marriage. So be
Mhm.
charming, be captivating, do things to capture and to keep your spouse's attention
Mhm.
is very important in the C of spice. And also in the E of spice, which is the last letter of spice, um, remain engaging. Engage not
Okay.
only with each other, but as couples, engage with others
Okay.
outside home and not always at church. We're going to engage. We're going to all go out and hang out and go to lunch or go to dinner, and
Mhm.
we don't do anything else. But find ways to engage otherwise.
Okay.
With it could be family, it could be friends, it could be other married couples, it can even be your parents, it can be your in-laws. But keep your relationship engaging with one another and with others. Invite others in. Have conversations. Engage others on things that you might have interest in together as
Mhm.
couples. Very important. And
Okay.
also, last one is what?
Energetic.
Yes. Well,
Energetic.
Energetic.
Take
Yeah,
those
be
vitamins. I'm just
be- and then I was gonna get to that because working, it can be very, very exhausting.
Mhm.
Uh, Housework can be very exhausting. Just life sometimes can be exhausting.
Yes.
Exhausting. So you gotta do things to maintain your energy.
Yes.
Take your multivitamins.
yes.
I say it all the time. Like, I'm tired, baby. Did you take your vitamins today? I need you to have some more energy. So just try to do things to maintain or to increase your energy because you
Yes.
want a long time and
Yes.
you don't want to just sit around on the couch and watch television or
Right.
sit around and play video games. We don't play video games. I don't have time for that. But there are those who do like video games, and
Right.
that's wrong with that. I'm not saying that. But just keep that fire, that energy, going in
Mhm.
your and if you want to get out and do things, you got to have the energy to do that. If you want
True.
to see the big old world, you got to have energy to do that. Uh,
Absolutely.
if you want to keep that fire going, you got to have some energy.
You got to keep
Yes.
that fire going. You got to keep got to be hot. Keep that fire.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, and I wanted to make sure I wanted to go back to I think I missed one on I. One was what was the words for the letter I again?
It was intimacy and being interesting. Interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
Intimacy, interesting. C was captivating and charming.
Yes.
Yes.
And E was
Engaging.
engaging and energetic. Okay. I was
Yeah.
trying to make sure I got all of them. So keep them
Oh,
down
okay.
so I can put them in my
Okay.
back pocket
Yes.
for the
And
future.
we've been married for 34 years. So,
Yeah.
and I think for the entire 34 years, we've kept more than the spices that we've listed.
Hmm.
There's many out there, but
Many.
you've got to do whatever it takes
Hmm.
to maintain a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage with each other by putting spice into your
Right.
life. A lot of spice.
I love that. I love that. I could talk to y'all all night, but I want to make sure that I give you room for your spice. Praise the Lord. That we don't
Yeah.
keep you all. I have enjoyed it. I've even learned. I've known Sandy all my life, and I've known Joel for 30,
Or
probably close
30.
to 40 some
yeah.
Yeah,
years.
yeah, probably close to
Yeah.
40. Yeah.
Um, and I have watched you all in your marriage. I love the connection that you all have. I love the partnership that you all have built, and I admire it so much, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you all on here because I want to bring, when I do bring couples on, I want to bring couples that I have faith in their marriage and that who I have seen um, uphold the godly principles of what this sacred union is supposed to be. And so I thank you for sharing your life with us, for opening up and being transparent and giving us all of these tips, tools, and strategies that married couples that are watching can use, and that singles can look forward to and actually be preparing ourselves for. So thank
Yeah.
you again so much for joining us, and y'all that have been watching and you've gotten all of this great insight, all this great information, these tips, tools, and strategies. Married couples, y'all go spice it up like never
Face
before.
it up.
Spice it up, keep it captivating, keep it charming,
Yeah.
keep it intimate, keep it inspiring, keep it energetic.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was S? Keep it sexy, keep it
Keep the sizzle.
Yeah.
sizzle and sweet. And let's see, what was P? Prayerful, playful, and who's one more? What?
Passion.
Passionate. Y'all keep it spicy. Keep that spice in it so that when singles like me look at your marriages, it's something that we can aspire to, something that we can hope and pray God would send us the same kind of union. So again,
Yes.
everybody, thank you all so much for joining. Wave to the people as we sign off. I love you all. If you haven't subscribed, tell them what to do if they haven't subscribed to this channel.
Subscribe, like, and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes, do it now.
More.
Yeah.
I love you all, and that is it for us.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you've enjoyed this interview, I want to hear it in the comments. I want you to let Joel and Sandy know that you have appreciated everything that they have poured out during this interview. So show them likes and show them love in the comments. I also created a video for single queens just like myself who want to learn how to be successfully single while you're waiting for God to send your king. I created a video called Successfully Single, How to Do It, and you should see it in the card right up above. Go ahead and click that right after we get off this video so that you can be building yourself up while God is preparing your king for you. Thank you again so much for watching, and as I always say in parting, be real, be present, but most importantly, be alive. See you in the next video.